Okay, so I'm off going on a walk and everything, and it's like really late at night going home, and I'm watching, a video from like Baconsaver, I think his name is, kind of popular guy who speaks on the behalf of Rotovisor. I respect that, big respect, my man. But his takes, they're flaming, man. They're hot. Those are some hot takes about certain things. I'm not gonna say it about all. That would be insane. And I respect his opinion, mind you. But to say that, and I was sitting and I'm like listening to the latest video, right? And there's totally a deer just staring me down. Like, what do you want, Mr. Deer? Well, that's a girl. What do you want, Mrs. Deer? Okay. I mean, she seems all right. Anyway, so I'm listening to it and I'm kind of vibing with it. He's going into how the newer cards, they're, and I believe this too, I agree wholeheartedly here, that the newer cards are not the greatest. They keep giving us shield cards as if we really, well, don't get me wrong, we need shield. Like, there's so many things, but we need shield. Yes, we do, because shield's very important with the numbers that are flying around out here. Trust me. But not so much that we're willing to take out any of our offense, which is what we need to be doing to kill the opponent. I think he eloquently said, if the opponent's dead, what do we need shield for? Our offense did what it's supposed to do. And I believe that too. Now, where I think this becomes a hot take is him saying that Trabant is trash. That the grade 3 that came out, the only one that seemed to, give some type of consistency to the deck concerning like what it does. And I'll explain why. Now, I admittedly don't watch enough Rotovisor games from other people to know if they like to rest their orders on their first attack or wait until their second restood attacks to rest them. Depending on how they go, that'll kind of change the way I'm looking at this. But if people are waiting until their second stronger attacks to rest their orders, because obviously those are the bigger ones, and we don't need to hit to restand, Glanzel will restand our units for us at the end of the battle regardless. And by the way, Trabant, the card he said was trash, which that's just kind of paraphrasing. He didn't say it was trash as far as I remember, but he said it wasn't a great card. That card, it makes our Vanguard, which naturally costs 2 counterblasts to use, cost 1 counterblast. Yes, the card itself can be looked at as a dud as it has no shield. Once again, kind of lending to the no shield problem. But it itself solves the problem of us like spending so much to be offensive. One problem is that we needed to counterblast 2 to use our ability, and the opponent's always going to block our on-head attack, right? So having a card, even if it's a grade 3, that can make our Vanguard cost 1 less counterblast to attack is great. And he went into saying we don't have any energy. Where are they thinking we're getting all this kind of magical energy? Well, maybe he's right. Again, I don't look at enough other Rotovisor players because there's like all of 4 of us, but I don't know, kind of watch enough other Rotovisor players to know how they're going about their stuff. But with me, first off, my deck's completely different, as you guys will see at some point when I make a deck profile. But for me, I look at things, right, and I go, we get energy for free every turn. Not like Rotovisor, I mean like as players. The energy generator generates 3 free energy every turn. How much? 3. How much does Trabant need to use his ability? 3. Now, yes, you can look at that and go, well, there goes all your energy for the turn. Like, how did that really help? Well, because that means I don't have to counterblast 2. So if I need to use my counterblast on something else that turn, I can. Because then I can more freely attack with Glanzel, or as I call him, Granzel. Because grandeur. So I can then more freely attack with Granzel, right? Very powerful. Very, very powerful. So that's the first reason why I think like that take is a bit wrong. Secondly, this guy solved so many problems. Like I said, if people were resting their orders, their arenas on their second attack, the restood attacks, then this solves that whole problem of all of that. Now your opponent has to block all of our attacks because now we can afford to rest the orders on the initial attacks, because when we stand Trabant, with a Soul Blast, which we don't use Soul for anything else for the most part. So with a Soul Blast, we can stand all of our other stuff, all our other orders, our set orders, our arenas. We can stand them, all of them at that. And of course, if 3 were stood, then he also can power up the front row by 10,000 by using one of the counter blasts that he saved from our Vanguard for himself to power up our front row by another 5. Like, very, very powerful, actually. That's quite strong, to say the least, to give our front row some power. Making it a lot more likely that these second row of attacks will hit. Now, the way that this makes it so that it's okay to do the first is because I can attack with a rear guard, rest my arena, you block it. I attack with the other rear guard, rest my arena, you block it, you know. Now, let's say we're just doing with like 2 arenas and we're not doing the full 3 and don't get the blah, blah, blah. Even that's fine. I attack with Granzel, you probably block it, fine. Or you might take it, especially if it's not like, you know, doesn't have the arena on it. Fine, drive check, whatever. Counterblast 1. Draw a card, restand both of my people. My Trabant got stood, so I now Soul Blast 1 and restand my order cards, my arenas. Now, on these extra 2 attacks I have here, they're also going to be on hit, as you can imagine, right? And depending on what else I play, because I haven't boosted, I could make these numbers even better. Now, I don't know what everybody else is using, but for me, I have boosters that have numbers on them. 13,000 point boost, you know, kind of ain't nothing to play with. You know what I mean? So that's pretty good. Even if the number that's being made, right, is only like 26 or something. I mean, I guess they could block that with 1 trigger, right? They could easily block that with 1 trigger. So we would need something that can power these guys up for, and I see what he means when he goes, our attacks aren't doing enough to get through. That is unless we get all the orders out. If we get all 3 orders out, we don't even need 4, just 3. Then our numbers are completely different. Our first attacks, excluding Persona Ride, our first attacks are going to be 18 concerning Trabant. And no, like 15 or 20 concerning something like Mechanic, right? And then with the booster I play that has, you know, 5,000 point boost, so it's gonna be 13 boost. We're gonna swing in again with Trabant. After they all restand, they all get another 5, right? Also, now mind you, the initial 5 they're getting is from Granzel giving 5 to the front row if we have 3 or more orders, 3 or more arenas. So everyone's up by 5. When they restand, they get 5. Then they're gonna get another front row boost from Trabant. And none of this is even counting whether or not I'm on Persona Ride. Those are some okay numbers. Now, I know you could be thinking to yourself, yeah, that's once you get 3 arenas. But, I mean, if you focus your deck around throwing arenas out, then you could probably get there by grade 3 with all the new stuff. I think Trabant is worth it. On top of that, he's, like, kind of built into the deck in a way where the ride line could possibly search him out. When you ride on the grade 2, you look at the top 7 to try to find Trabant. I think he's a good card. I think that Baconsaver take is a bit skewed. Now, I agree with a lot of what he was saying, and he's a lot more knowledgeable than, you know, than me concerning a lot of this stuff. But I felt I wanted to speak up on what my take is. And this is kind of my response to that, not directly to him or something. Don't go trying to make this some type of thing, right? That's not like what's happening here. I respect him and his opinion. It's just, I think differently. And I'll be showing what my deck is about in the upcoming videos that I'll have. They're going to be on Untapped. They won't be as fancy or whatever. But, you know, I'll show what I can do with Rotovisor. And again, I'm a bit of a casual. I'm not like trying to particularly fight the meta. So maybe we have skewed opinions based on where we're fighting at. And I don't even know if he's fighting the meta. But I think the playstyle I'm using will get a lot done. So as I'm about to come to the end of my walk, I can't wait to show you guys what I'm capable of. I'll be the strongest Rotovisor player in the world. Until then, Donson.